Hi, stop scrolling. If you've been looking for a way to help the people of Cuba, I've got something for you. As we all know, the United States has been systematically trying to strangle Cuba for decades. All because Cuba expelled American plantation owners from their land years ago. As a result, the United States government has been subjecting Cuba to a blockade so extreme that the UN has voted 33 separate times to encourage the United States to stop it. This blockade affects every single element of daily life on the island, controlling what the Cuban people are allowed to import and export. And while the blockade has thrust the Cuban people into poverty for decades, the Cuban people have somehow managed to survive and some would say even managed to thrive under these harsh, horrific conditions. Now, however, Donald Trump is on a war path throughout Latin America and the Caribbean. Attacking Venezuela was the first step in trying to ultimately wipe Cuba off the map, as Venezuela was the primary supplier of the oil that the Cuban people need to live their daily lives on the island. The oil that reaches Cuba does everything from power their generators for their hospitals, to help their cars run, to help airplanes come in and out of Cuba's airspace to bring much needed supplies, the few that are able to actually sneak through the blockade. Now, however, Venezuela is no longer able to import that much needed fuel to Cuba, and Donald Trump says he is waiting for the Cuban government to collapse. So, what can you do to help? You can help Cuba build solar panels so they don't have to rely on imported fuel. If you go to letcubalive.info/donate, you will find a link where you can participate in this fundraising campaign today. Solar panels and solar generators would allow things like hospitals to continue to function on the island. And activists are banding together right now to hand deliver as many supplies to Cuba as possible. The People's Forum out of New York is currently raising money to deliver these essential solar generators and panel supplies. And they are looking to do massive work, bringing in $100,000 worth of these solar generators. They've so far raised $77,000 of their goal, which means they are close. If 25,000 people see this video and donate just $1, we can get them there. Cuba has always stood with the rest of the world. Despite their impoverished status, they have always made it a priority to try to help the rest of the world out wherever they can, especially when it comes to medical fields. Cuba managed to develop a lung cancer vaccine. They send doctors to help all around the planet with medical emergencies and crises whenever they pop up. Now it's time for us to band together and reciprocate. Don't let Cuba get wiped off the map. Cuba's fight right now is the fight of every person with left-wing politics on Earth. It's time to show Donald Trump what we can do when we work together.